Donald Trump, as we know, loves to fire people, but he is not going to fire the head of the US Federal Reserve when he finally becomes president in January. Joining me now is former White House Chief of Staff and now Bondi Partners consultant Mick Mulvaney. Mick, great to see you. This is significant, and what do you think it means? How do we interpret that?
How do you interpret Donald Trump? That's a great question. Look, I think what it means is plan A for Donald Trump is not to fire the head of our Federal Reserve. Our Federal Reserve, as I believe it is in Australia as well, the central bank is somewhat independent from politics. Donald Trump appointed Jay Powell back in 2019, actually when I was in the White House, and he's still got several years left on his term. It's unclear as to whether or not the President of the United States even has the authority to remove the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank. So if Trump tried to fire him, he'd be moving into sort of uncertain legal territory. So I think it's the right thing for Trump to say. It lends a little bit of stability to the market. But at the end of the day, if circumstances change, it wouldn't surprise me if Trump tries to take steps to either not remove Powell, because I don't think he has the right to remove him, but to replace him with somebody else.
Okay, what about the Democrats at the moment picking up the pieces? I mean, we've just seen one kind of hostage video-esque video from Kamala Harris. I'm getting a lot of emails through from their campaign team. They're still defiant, and that was the message coming through from her. But who's the new generation? Is it Gavin Newsom?
You know, anytime a party loses as badly as the Democrats did a month or so ago, we lost this badly as Republicans. I remember back in 2008, you do a great deal of soul searching. And there'll be some people saying that, well, we did it right. We have the right policies, but the wrong message. Other people say we have the wrong policies, et cetera, et cetera. And then inevitably you start looking for new people. And inevitably, almost, the new person is not who you expect it to be. The Democrats were in the wilderness for a long time during Ronald Reagan. I don't think anybody anticipated that their savior would be Bill Clinton. The Democrats, again, were in the wilderness for a long time under George W. Bush, and I don't think they anticipated Barack Obama coming out of nowhere. So while Gavin Newsom, yes, the governor of California, very popular, very high profile, is trying to sort of grab the reins of the Democrat Party, it's almost impossible to say who that next generation of leadership is going to be. He'll be on the list, Laura, but it'll be a long list with probably a dozen other possible names.
Yeah, it does seem like it. Anyone else on that list?
Yeah, there's the Democrat governor of Colorado, a gay gentleman named Jared Polis, has been very popular in a purple state, a swing state, a state that swings back and forth between Democrats and Republicans. The governor of Michigan is very popular. I think the Democrats may go back to the old drawing board in this country. We usually don't elect senators. There's only been twice in this country in the last 100 years that we've elected a sitting senator. One was John Kennedy. The other was Barack Obama. And the other person who had been in the Senate who got elected president was Joe Biden. Typically, we elect governors for president. Donald Trump, obviously, an exception to that rule. But my guess is the Democrats will start to look to the state governors, the executive leaders of those states, as they look to populate their bench.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump doesn't really fit into any mould or any precedent, does he? Finally, before I let you go, of course, the pardoning of Hunter Biden has been really big news, and it feels like Joe Biden has been avoiding the cameras ever since. But Jill Biden, she's been left to do some explaining or public appearances? What's going on there?
We're in a very, very weird time right now. We have an incoming president who is a former president. And that is really, that's unusual for us. I don't think it's only happened once. And he's sort of becoming the president quicker than everybody expected, especially on foreign policy. It's Trump who's overseas, for example, for the unveiling of the new Notre Dame Cathedral. It's the Trump meeting with the foreign leaders and so forth, because he's already been there. So it's a very unusual situation. And you have an elderly, almost incapacitated existing president. So Jill Biden, the first lady, is trying to fill in some of the gaps. Clearly, Kamala Harris is sort of checked out. So a lot of the Democrat staff has left the White House looking for new jobs. So it's a very strange time here. Yes, Jill Biden is trying to pick up some of the slack from her husband. But for the most part, folks are looking around this town going, you know what? I think Donald Trump might already be president.
Yeah, feels like it from here. Mick Mulvaney, great to see you.
Thanks, Laura.